What are you really looking for? A fulfilling job? A chance to make a real career?
Hello. What is up? Streaming? Me? I could never. I never stream. Nah, but for real though. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing good. As you can probably tell, it's gonna be a Falcon 9 launch stream. We're just gonna be waiting around for it now, and we're gonna be listening in onto the Starlink mission control audio as you talk about the SpaceX. So give me 1 second. Nope. That's not exactly what I wanted. That either. Alright. This is going pretty smoothly. Wow, this is how you know I don't stream enough. Alright, let's try that again. Alright, so the actual thing doesn't actually start until... Well, launch is not supposed to happen until like 8:02, I think, so we're gonna be here for a little while. I think we should just sit here and just vibe to some music. Sounds like a great idea, doesn't it? And if any callouts happen over the comms, then they happen. Also, now this is lower. Is that better? Oh, wow. That should be good.
LD is go for prop load.
Alright, so we just got a call that LD is go for prop load, which means we're gonna start loading propellant. Also, I am aware that it looks like this does not look good at all.
Launch auto started.
I would like to note that LD did give the permission to start propellant load at approximately, I would say, 7 minutes ago at least. So prop load has begun, which is good. So I was correct by that. It's 30 feet. Jesus. Super Heavy is 230 feet tall. Diameter is 30 feet as well. That actually makes sense because they have to be the same diameter. Thrusts. Wow. That is going to be insane. I can't wait for this, bro. Oh. It wasn't going. Now I'm sad.
Stay in school, though. Squid King says, hello from Ireland. Thanks for all you guys do. Squid King, thanks for the kind words this morning. Let's see here. Here's one for you, Chris. This is a question. And
Yes.
it's JD Brown saying, why is the second stage of Falcon 9 the only part that's expended or not reused in any SpaceX mission? What's the deal? Why doesn't Elon get the second stage reusable?
Yeah, so it's a good question. They did, in fact, start looking into this. There was an initial idea that the entire Falcon 9 system would be recoverable and reusable. The issue they ran into with the second.
Alright. So now the official SpaceX stream is live right now. So now we're going to be watching this. Also, I might be live later because Starship SN9 might be static firing, and I want to be live for that when it does, and if it does today. And if it doesn't, they always have a window for tomorrow, and then there's gonna be. So yes, but I will 100% be live for Starship SN9's flight. So don't worry about that. I just now realized I don't want the music's copyrighted and that's where somebody waiting here. So anyways, how's everybody's mornings or evening or night? Yes. Been. I hope it's been well. Swell. I hope it's been swell. Jesus. I don't stream very often. I don't know if you could tell. So now we are just waiting for the official SpaceX stream to go up. Also, yes, I did start this a little bit earlier than scheduled because the mission control audio was up, so I just started a little bit earlier. Started like what, 20 minutes earlier? That's not a problem. Just a little bit ahead of schedule, you know? What would be so cool is if like after like a while, after like so many like streams, this eventually like runs into Mars or something, or like it like gets into like a Mars orbit. Now that would be cool. All right, we're getting into the actually I don't. This is copyrighted. So yeah. So everybody that doesn't know, or everybody that's new now, we're going to be watching a Falcon 9 launch. A Falcon 9 is a two-stage vehicle that lands. It uses kerosene or very refined or jet fuel, which is just more refined. And then it uses liquid oxygen or LOX, and it uses Carolox if you want to use it for short. And they are both cooled down to cryogenic temperatures and put into the Falcon 9. And here we are.
January 20th, and you're looking at a live view of Falcon 9 as it
And
awaits
the
its
main
8:02
stage,
a.m. Eastern
which
Time
is this portion right here, you can tell which one is the main stage and the second stage. The second stage begins after this right here, and I am assuming, and then it's going to get into its, and then the stage 1 is going to launch or propel the second stage into its final, well, no, it's going to propel it into a orbital trajectory, and then the second stage will carry off with its Merlin engine. Oh yeah, and the first stage uses 9 Merlin engines to get into that orbit. Alright. And then the first stage will be landing, or attempting to land, on a drone ship probably a couple 100 miles or 100 miles offshore. So yes, alright, let's start by watching this.
Falcon 9. This booster debuted on our Demonstration 1 mission in March of 2019 and then flew again 3 months later on RadarSat Constellation mission. In 2020, it supported 4 Starlink missions as well as the SXM-7 mission at the end of the year. And we will be attempting to recover the booster again on our drone ship. Just read the instructions, and that's what you see on your screen, stationed off the coast of Florida in the Atlantic Ocean. If we are successful, it will mark the 72nd recovery of our Falcon 9 first stage. Falcon 9 was designed for 10 or more flights with minimal refurbishment between each flight, and today's flight gets us closer to that goal. Currently, we're at T-minus 14.5 minutes, and all systems are go for an on-time liftoff at 8:02 a.m. Eastern Time. Let's take a closer look at the rocket that you see on your screen. You're looking at a live view of Falcon 9, our 70-meter two-stage liquid-fueled launch vehicle. The chief engineer held a technical poll at T-minus 1 hour, and the launch director held a propellant load and launch go-no-go poll at T-minus 38 minutes. Falcon 9 has been loading propellant since T-minus 35 minutes, and currently our rocket-grade kerosene, or RP-1, is nearly fully loaded on the first stage, which is the bottom two-thirds of the vehicle. The first stage is responsible for accelerating the vehicle through the Earth's atmosphere to the edge of space with the help of 9 Merlin engines. Now, directly above the first stage is the black carbon fiber interstage, which you can see there at the bottom of your screen, and connected to that is the Falcon 9 second stage. Second stage has a single Merlin vacuum, or MVAC engine. And once the first and second stages separate about 2.5 minutes into the mission, the MVAC engine will ignite for its first burn and then shut down for coasting. Today, we will be performing 2 second stage burns and deploying our Starlink satellites at approximately 1 hour into the mission. The 2 burns allow us to deploy our satellites into a circular orbit, which in turn helps them get to their final orbit much faster. Now you'll notice this large nose cone at the top of the rocket that you're looking at on your screen. This is called the fairing. That's where the stack of Starlink satellites is safely housed. The fairing protects the satellites from aerothermal heating, aerodynamic loads, and contamination during ascent. As you may know, space is a vacuum, so we will jettison the fairing halves to reduce some weight as the second stage continues on its journey to orbit. Today, we are using flight-proven fairing halves, and Miss Tree and Miss Chief, which you are looking at on your screen, will be attempting to recover them by wet recovery, meaning we will be retrieving them from the water. Now, weather is looking 90% favorable at the launch site, which you could see that beautiful view there with a slight chance of cumulus cloud development this morning. At our recovery site in the Atlantic Ocean, ground level winds are in the forecast today. Now, these winds are potentially stronger than what Falcon 9 has experienced on previous flights. Therefore, today's mission will be what we call an envelope expansion on our first stage landing wind performance, meaning we are going to test the wind limits of our vehicle upon landing. Now, with that, the vehicle, satellites, weather, and range are all looking good for an on-time liftoff just a few minutes from now. Since our last launch in November of 2020, we've brought Starlink to a handful of new communities in the US, Canada, as well as the United Kingdom, which we're really excited to tell you about. In Canada, we signed our first customer, the Pikangikum First Nation Reservation, which is located in a remote area of Ontario Province, Canada, about 300 kilometers northeast of Winnipeg. The Pikangikum First Nation are an Indigenous community of approximately 2,000 to 3,000 people, representing 400 to 500 family households. The area is so remote that for the majority of the year, all shipments are sent via chartered airplane, except during the coldest weeks when trucks are able to travel across ice roads to reach the community. Given the remote and terrain challenges of the Pikangikum First Nation, it is cost prohibitive to update or lay new infrastructure. Our Starlinks were delivered to the community for use in residences, community buildings, and businesses. Here's a look at how Starlink is positively impacting the Pikangikum First Nation Reservation.
All the projects I've probably been involved in, this is, for me personally and professionally, the most rewarding one. I've never worked with a community or a customer or client that's been more excited about something or happier. And I just, I don't know what could be more rewarding than that.
After many, many months of trying to get internet to Pikangikum through other means, Dave was really determined to find a different way. He began doing a lot of research and eventually reached out to SpaceX.
They went back and they got the approval, and they came back to me and said that Pikangikum was going to be the first SpaceX Starlink client in Canada. That changed everything from that moment on.
I work for Pikangikum Health Authority. I'm a community person who really believes in their community, and I hope that it gives the younger generations a little bit of hope. We're creating a pathway for the younger people.
It's a long time coming. The biggest thing will be accessing services. I think that was the biggest issue for us.
Better services in terms of how health is delivered remotely and education.
Up until Thursday of last week, you couldn't get a college education from Pikangikum. You can now. That access to that information allows them to change the world and shape their path and future.
This is a monumental deal. I mean, for the community of Pikangikum to be able to have high-speed internet within 15 minutes of it landing on the ground is incredible.
Yeah, you're laughing because you know what it was like before. Before it was like three. Like three.
I never expected to see that kind of number.
Yeah, it's better than 60 kilobytes per second. That's actually how fast our internet was.
This solution can be used for healthcare, for education, for virtual court purposes. Anything that you can think of that's done virtually in another environment or in another city can now be done in Pikangikum in a remote fly-in community.
I can only think of the difference that it could make at the school for the students. Right now, because of COVID-19, all of our instruction is online.
From a perspective of policing, it's very difficult sometimes to do business in a timely fashion. A lot of challenges that we see right now, we're going to be able to overcome them due to the speed.
Just that we were a part of the project and that we had the pleasure to help them get this far is just awesome.
My goal has always been to start with the youth, the kids, the children. When that playing field isn't level, then we're doing something wrong. I think what we've done here is that there's still a lot of work to do, but at least they have access to technology and information, and hopefully that playing field is at least a little closer to being level.
It's pretty exciting, and I'm sure the community is just as excited as I am today.
Everyone deserves to have this kind of service because at this point in history, internet isn't just a luxury, it's a need.
I'm just hoping that's the start of a great thing.
It's beautiful. Nah.
It is so incredible to see the community's excitement and gratitude. And our Starlink team is really proud to be able to help communities like the Pikangikum First Nation Reservation.
Hold on a second.
Also, since our last mission in November, we signed up Marysville,
what Starship's
Ohio,
up
as
to,
well
'cause
as the
I'm gonna be
Wise
watching this
County
later.
Public School District in
No
Virginia,
launch today,
which will
local
help bring
project
satellite internet
fire.
service to almost 50 families in that rural community who otherwise would have limited access to high-speed internet. And lastly, earlier this month, we expanded our Better Than Nothing beta program to include customers across the pond in the United Kingdom. Within the northern U.S. and Canada and now the U.K., we are focused on rural and remote areas where there is no easy access to fiber or cable. If you're interested in our service, head over to starlink.com for more information. We are currently just under T-minus 6 minutes from liftoff, and Falcon 9 is now moving into the final stages of the countdown. Our next event will be the transporter erector, or TE, retracting slightly away from the vehicle at T-minus 4.5 minutes. Now, the TE is that large trusted structure that you can see right behind Falcon 9 on your screen.
Like you know, like Q-tip.
We use the TE to roll the rocket out to the pad and raise it to its vertical launch position.
At the end.
The TE also routes the vehicle's fluids, power, and telemetry umbilicals from the ground systems to the rocket and satellites until Falcon 9 goes on internal power and clears the pad. At liftoff, it will retract even further in order to clear the way for Falcon 9's ascent. We're just under 25 seconds away from that TE retraction. You could see those white clouds around Falcon 9. That's what happens when the LOX hits the ambient air there. We're just waiting for that TE retraction. We've got a good, nice close-up view here.
That's 4 minutes.
Again, what you're looking at on your screen is the top of the vehicle. And that transporter erector should be retracting here soon. And there you can see it on your screen. It looks very slow and very slight, but there it is moving back. Now the first and second stages are both nearly fully loaded with 1 million pounds of kerosene fuel and liquid oxygen.
See it moving.
Super chilled liquid oxygen is our propellant oxidizer, and as I
Wait,
just
you can
mentioned,
literally
it's what's
see the
creating those
Falcon
white
9
clouds
moving.
that you can see right there on your screen. That happens
I've never
when
realized
it's
you can
exposed to the
literally
warmer
see it like
ambient air.
waving. It's like woo,
First stage should finish prop
woo,
loading in a
woo,
second here, and
woo.
second stage at T-minus 2 minutes.
I've never realized that.
At T-minus
It's literally
60
moving
seconds,
a little
Falcon
bit. It's
9
not
is
moving
in
by much,
startup,
but it's
and
like
what that
moving a
means
little
is that the rocket's autonomous internal flight computers have taken over the launch countdown. Now they'll light the Merlin engines at about T-minus 2 seconds, and liftoff will be commanded at T-minus 0. We use T-Teb as our ignition fluid, and when it mixes with oxygen, it burns a green-colored flame, so you might see a green flash near T0. We then allow fuel into the thrust chamber, and the engine comes up to power for liftoff. Now, the Starlink payload continues to be healthy. The Falcon 9 team is tracking no issues on the rocket. Weather is looking great, as you can see there on your screen, and the range is green for launch. And we just passed the T-minus 2 minute mark.
DC LOX closed out.
And there's that call out that LOX load is complete on both first and second stage. just about 15 seconds or so, we will start venting out the transporter erector liquid oxygen line. And there you can see it on your screen, those white clouds. As I mentioned, this is the venting, just clearing out the line on the transporter erector.
Wow, that's loud.
Now in about 15 seconds or so, Falcon 9 will be in startup, and stage 1 and stage 2 will begin pressurizing for launch. And Falcon 9
in startup.
There's that call out. Falcon 9 is in startup. Now we're waiting for the go for launch from the launch director in a few seconds here.
So if it doesn't launch today from just hold.
Starlink, Falcon 9, LD is go for launch.
All right. So the LD is said to go for
And
launch.
there's that call out that we are go for launch this morning. So at T-minus 30 seconds, all systems are go for launch. So let's listen into the terminal count and watch as Falcon 9 takes our Starlink satellites into orbit.
Stage 1 press for flight.
Minus 15 seconds.
Falcon 9 is configured for flight.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
At T-plus 40 seconds, we've got a beautiful view of Falcon 9 successfully lifting off from Pad 39A at Kennedy Space Center, carrying our stack of Starlink satellites to orbit. And we are throttling down the vehicle, the engines, in preparation for max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure. This is the largest structural load that the vehicle sees on ascent, so slowing down the vehicle helps us pass through the short period.
Max Q.
And there's that call out that we've passed through max Q. Now, in about a minute, we'll have 3 events happening. That'll be main engine cutoff, or what we call MECO, stage separation, and SES-1, which is second engine start 1. Now, MECO is where we shut down all 9 of those M1D engines on the first stage to slow the vehicle down in preparation for stage separation. And that's where the first stage separates from the second stage. First stage will start making its way.
Back is chilling.
First stage will start making its way back to Earth for landing, while second stage continues on its journey with the third event, which is SES-1, or second engine start 1. And that's where we light up the MVAC engine, and it propels the second stage along with the Starlink satellites to orbit.
Oh, I love this view.
We've just got some awesome views on the screen. Such a beautiful morning. We're just about 15 seconds away from those 3 events: MECO, stage separation, and SES-1.
And MECO.
Stage separation confirmed.
And back ignition. And throttle up.
And there you just saw MECO and stage separation on your left-hand screen. On your right-hand screen is the second stage.
All right, we have a successful
on fairing deploy
MECO
coming
with
up here
stage
shortly.
separation and second engine start. fairing
separation
deployed.
confirmed.
And there you could see the fairing have flight for this Falcon 9 booster on ascent. So very exciting. And as a reminder, we will be attempting to recover the fairing halves today with our recovery ships Mystery and Mischief. Now, as Stage 2 heads towards its targeted drop-off orbit, Stage 1 will execute 2 burns in order to make its way back to Earth. And that first burn is called the entry burn. That's where 3 of the 9 M1D engines will reignite. And this
Acquisition of signal, Bermuda.
This helps to slow the stage down as it re-enters into the upper parts of the Earth's atmosphere. The second and final burn for the first stage is the landing burn. Each of the M1D engines has 190,000 pounds of thrust, which is just enough to slow down the vehicle rapidly to touch down for landing, as the landing burn is just a single engine burn. And again, this is the vehicle's 8th flight, so it is our life leader. It has completed a successful ascent and stage separation, so let's see if we can land it for the 8th time, which will be a first for Falcon 9.
Both vehicles are following nominal trajectories.
You heard that call out that both vehicles are nominal. We're just a little over a minute away from that entry burn start on the first stage. And what you see on your screen is a view looking forward on the left-hand screen. Now we've changed to the looking aft on first stage. And on your right-hand screen is a view of that MVAC engine on second stage. That second stage engine, that MVAC engine, has a thrust of 220,500 pounds of thrust in a vacuum. It's a pretty powerful engine there. And we're just about 20 seconds or so away from that entry burn on the first stage. You can see those grid fins are deployed, helping to steer the vehicle. And we do use nitrogen gas burst for attitude control.
Stage 1 FTS is saved.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
There's that call out and visual of the entry burn on the first stage on your left-hand screen. So it lasts about 20 seconds long.
Stage 1 entry burn shut down.
And that concludes the entry burn on first stage. And as a reminder, at our recovery site in the Atlantic Ocean, ground level winds are in the forecast today. These winds are potentially stronger than what Falcon 9 has experienced on
Nominal trajectories.
That was just a call out that everything is nominal. These winds are potentially stronger than what Falcon 9 has experienced on previous flights. Therefore, today's mission will be what we call an envelope expansion on our first stage landing wind performance, meaning we're going to test the wind limits of our vehicle upon landing. So let's see if we can stick this landing today. Again, it also will be the 8th landing if we do land this vehicle. And we're just about 30 seconds away from that landing burn start on the first stage. And what you're looking at on your screen is a nice view of the second stage. Still looking nominal.
Stage 1 landing burn startup.
There's that call out. Landing burn has
Will it
started
land?
on first stage. Let's see if we can stick this landing. There's a view of the drone ship on your left-hand
Can't be that
screen.
much worse. Oh.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
Oh.
Looks like we lost that live view on the first stage. We'll wait for confirmation. And there you can see on your screen, we have landed the Falcon 9 for the 8th time. This is our life leader. What an amazing morning. That is an awesome view. And we're just waiting for Seco 1 on second stage.
And Seco.
And there's that call out for Seco 1.
Good job, SpaceX.
Waiting for confirmation of good orbit.
Nominal insertion.
Let's go.
And there's that call out for good orbit on second stage. What an exciting morning. We've landed that first stage for the 8th time. And now that second stage is going to coast.
Signal, Newfoundland.
Second stage is now going to coast in this orbit for the next 35 minutes or so. And while that happens, take a look at this, the animation. We'll have an animation showcasing where we are in the coast phase. So we'll see you back here at T plus 45 minutes for that second stage relay.
Congrats to SpaceX for the landing of the 8th, or no, congrats to SpaceX for the 8th launch and landing of a Falcon 9 booster. Of a single Falcon 9 booster, or the same Falcon 9, I don't know, same thing. I don't know here, folks, but I don't have enough time for this. I didn't have a lot of time today, so I'm actually kind of glad I got this out. I was not expecting to be able to. So give me 1 second, and I'll write up some music, and then we are just going to... Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you all later today, possibly, for SN9 Static Fire. And I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Peace out. Goodbye.